In the Amazon jungle, an eerie investigation is underway after reports of bizarre occurrences in a village. The locals claim they are being menaced by 7 feet tall armored aliens with large heads and yellow eyes in Peru. Locals describe creatures resembling the Green Goblin from the Spider-Man franchise. These astonishing claims have emerged from the Iquitu indigenous people, residing in the remote district of Alto Nane, northeast of Lima. According to their accounts, a 15-year-old girl was allegedly attacked by one of these mysterious monsters. Desperate to defend themselves, hunters have fired their guns at the creatures, but it appears these beings are immune to human weapons and can vanish at will. Various theories surround these enigmatic sightings, ranging from real extraterrestrial beings to creatures from local folklore. Some speculate that the creatures might be drones camouflaged with cloth and masks, used to frighten the villagers by illegal miners.
No. I've had a couple of people send me updates on this, and I just recently found out about it, and I did a little research on it and found out that these beings supposedly, this has been going on since July the 11th, and this is happening every night. Supposedly this is happening every night. They're being attacked. They're calling them the face peelers. They have yellow eyes. They have these special shoes, they say, that they levitate. And you ask yourself, and they're comparing it to cattle mutilations, that what they're doing, and I've just done some research in Google, just like anybody else could do, and they're claiming that they've done this, and that they found a couple of people, and their whole skin peeled off, just a skull. I mean, they describe them, like he said, with the Green Goblin look, or whatever, with this armor on. And you ask yourself, what type of being would this be? Well, see, this is the thing. And this is the reason I tell people, I believe the story, but they've called the military out. This is international news, by the way. This is going on. They'll cover it up. They'll sweep it under the rug, I'm sure. But it's going to get to the point, and I'm telling you now, it's going to get to the point you can't sweep it under the rug, because it's going to happen in a lot of places. It's not going to just be in the Amazon over in Peru and in these little small villages. I'm sure this is like, hey, let's test this out and see what's going on and see how this works, and then we'll go to a more populated area and we'll try it there. Well, you see, but they said the weapons have no effect at all on these beings. I do believe that these are interdimensional or extra-dimensional beings. I believe that. Some people would say that's demonic or demonic. I believe that whatever beings they may be, they've been here. They probably came from inner Earth somewhere, and they've been here. This is not like, oh, they just got here and they're attacking us. But when you hear people say, oh, they're not hostile, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Yes, they are. There's plenty of them that are hostile. You can keep believing it and, and lying to yourself that they're not, and just, it's one thing to be positive, but it's another thing to just flat out be in denial and not try to recognize what's going on. And I'm telling you right now, I've been saying it, something's about to happen. I totally believe that. It's coming up soon. I just posted a video on a response to one of Dan Bongino's podcast about something about to happen, and then I found this information, so I did as much research on it as I could. And if I had to guess at what these were, I definitely would say these are extra-dimensional, interdimensional. They probably have been here. I don't know about the suits, the yellow eyes. I don't know about that. But I've got a little footage here that I caught from somebody else's video that had, and supposedly this has been going on. You can actually research it on YouTube, and you'll find out that there's a lot of footage of them shooting at these things, and they're terrified. They're not just making this up. This is the real shit. They're not making this up. So what I'm going to tell you right here is, watch this. I'm going to leave you with this little video that I found.
trees while frightened onlookers shout that they've possibly spotted an extraterrestrial. For a few brief seconds, the camera captures a dark figure behind a tree trunk, featuring two large black eyes and a sizable head. The anonymous videographer and his companions seem deeply unsettled by this sighting. Their panicked voices and trembling flashlight beams suggesting they believe they've encountered alien life.
So word on the street is the Green Goblin is actually real and it's touched down in Peru. First off, here's a warning to whoever you are. Aliens, DARPA super soldiers. Stop messing with Peru, man. That's my country. I love that place. Alright, so supposedly there's some kind of intergalactic jungle conflict happening in Peru, with allegedly 7-foot Green Goblin-esque aliens with cloaking technology engaging in guerrilla warfare with an innocent tribe. So what do I think's happening? Well, whenever something like this comes up, I always say the same thing. Horses to rocket ships in 60 years. Human beings went from horses to rocket ships in 60 years. Since that incredible leap in technology, another 60 years has passed. So whatever technology our government has, it's the equivalent of making a rocket ship look like a horse and buggy. Not to mention that technology grows exponentially, so it's probably actually far more advanced than that. I can't for the life of me understand why people thought in the 1960s the government, with the most powerful and brilliant scientists in the world, just kind of shrugged their shoulders and said, "Meh, I think we did everything we wanted to do. We don't need to make faster rocket ships. We don't need to make spaceships. We don't need to make cloaking technology." Folks, here's the truth. The technology that the government has is beyond our wildest dreams. It's beyond our comprehension. If we were to actually look directly at their highest technology, our brains would melt. We wouldn't even know what we were looking at. If you haven't heard of the breakaway civilization theory, I highly advise you look into it. It's going to open up a whole new world for you in understanding what's happening in the world right now. So Mel, my first guess is this is probably some military technology. And if y'all remember my video a couple months ago where I started talking about the fake alien invasion, what did I say? First it would be rumors. People are seeing aliens in backyards. They would show up in remote places and do crazy things. We would never be sure if it actually happened, but the evidence would mount and just build this narrative in our head like, oh my God, they're hiding in the jungle. They're visiting slowly. There's more things that look kind of like meteors, but they don't really have the right kind of tail and it keeps changing colors. Are we being invaded? Never outright saying it or doing it, kind of building it up like one of those really scary movies. And as you know, the world is a theater. This is a psychological operation. The very last thing I think this is aliens. And there's a lot of good reasons why. Don't you find it peculiar that all of a sudden all these things are happening all at once? For the 70 to 80 years after we invited all those Nazi scientists over for Operation Paperclip, mind you, they were building a flying saucer. That's well documented. We started having a bunch of sightings of flying saucers, and everything was kind of chill. People would get abducted every now and then, a couple anal probes, and then all of a sudden it's like there's a full-scale invasion mounting. If that was the actual case, that would mean the aliens were working with the government to mess with us. Because if these aliens were as advanced as the government says they are, they would invade us in a day, it would be over, it would be clean, they wouldn't waste their resources. Like, it would be done in the blink of an eye. In fact, they would do it, and then they'd make us forget that it happened. So we're probably already invaded if there actually is hostile aliens in the vicinity. It already happened, and it's full-scale oppression prison planet. Or it hasn't happened, and it probably won't. The next likely explanation for these Peruvian alien things is the veil between the first and second heaven is falling. And we are dealing with a spiritual war, and the government is using a fake alien narrative to try to explain it away so we don't realize this is a spiritual war. This is not a battle of flesh and blood, but of powers, principalities, and wickedness in high places. Yeah, so that's my hot take. The government has lied to us over and over and over again about pretty much everything. And it really does surprise me how many people are believing them now. Like after everything, after the LSD experiments in the 1960s, the Tungsten experiments with syphilis with African Americans, MK Ultra, they were literally creating serial unalivers. Like they were making them purposely and then putting them out in the public so they could commit crimes and scare the crap out of us. These are evil, evil people that run these organizations. These black budget projects. They are career liars. In fact, they probably enjoy lying. This is all a psyop. The question just is it a psyop with human players, or a psyop about the spiritual war that we are in, or a little bit of both?